Let's take a walk. I want to ask you a few things. Who do you think you are? No, but seriously, did you know that whoever we believe ourselves to be is exactly what we're going to be? That's again, what? If we label ourselves, if we accept labels, if we accept diagnoses, if we accept stories around us because of where we come from or what we've experienced or whatever we accept as our identity is exactly what our life is going to be like. Which makes sense, right? You're like, yeah, that makes sense. But have you thought about what this means? This actually means that we have the power to change our lives simply by changing the way we think about ourselves. When I'm getting to know women for the first time, I ask their story. And one of the first things that will come out of their mouth is the labels they've been given. And they have a deep attachment to these labels and have taken on all the limitations around these labels. So let's just use adult ADHD as an example. If you have been given that diagnosis and you onboard it onto your psyche and you grab it and you put it in your pocket and you create a story around it and you build it into your identity, that is now who I am. I am a person with adult ADHD. And then you go home and you Google it and you find out what that means. So what are my limitations? What does it mean? And you see the long list of things that you can now expect because you have adult ADHD. And you immediately start onboarding all of those things, building up more and more and more limitations. This is just an example, but the same is true of alcoholic. The same is true of diabetic. The same is true of depression, of anxiety. Look, I'm not saying these things don't exist. I'm not. I'm saying that if we embrace them, and here's what I'm trying to say. I'm just going to be real blunt about this. What I see people doing is not just embracing them, but using them as a crutch to be an excuse, a reason to not show up for themselves like they could. There it is. I said it. I'd like to show up and do that, Becca, but you don't understand. I have anxiety. Or I'd love to do that, but I have ADHD. I can't do that. Why would we want to limit ourselves like that? So throughout my life, as you might know, you might not know, I didn't get sober till I was 52. And I drank my entire life away until then. And I was as much addicted to alcohol as anyone. Psych ward, detox, treatment centers, counselors. Over those those decades, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, blah, blah. Had all the diagnoses. I was given all of them, depending on which therapist I was seeing or which counselor or which doctor, I was given various diagnoses. And for a while in my younger days, I did exactly what I'm talking about now. I went home. I remember going home and thinking, okay, well, since have depression, here's what I can expect. And here I can't really expect. And I brought on all of those limitations. The same is true of any of them. We bring it home and onboard the limitations. What if we decided instead, oh, so apparently I'm depressed, am I? Let me just see about that. Maybe it's the alcohol I'm drinking all the time. Could that be it? Oh, I have anxiety, do I? Well, maybe. Or maybe it's the alcohol I'm drinking all the time. I have ADHD, do I? Maybe. Or maybe it's because I'm so anxious, so busy drinking, so out of control, so busy scrolling on social media that I can't even sit still for 5 minutes. Maybe I could learn how to regulate my nervous system through a breathing practice. Maybe I could learn how to regulate my nervous system through somatic releasing practice. Maybe I could decide, all right, I have this diagnosis, but that doesn't mean I have to accept it as a limitation. I can take it instead as a challenge. And that means, screw that. I'm going to do what I need to do to get the life that I'm capable of having. So I guess my only question today is, hey, look, I know, here's the truth, that many of us use these labels as excuses. If you accept the label, you don't have to do anything. Nobody expects anything of you. It's okay. You're off the hook. And if that's what you want to do, my dear, go for it. This message is for people who don't want to do that, or who have been and are sick of it. Because I can tell you right now that if you hold on to that label, hold on to those limitations, you're never going to get the life that you're capable of. And I know you're capable of it. You can step up. You can decide to take it as a challenge, get the help you need, do the work you need to do, and find out what's possible for you, because you are so powerful. If you had any idea what you're capable of, it would blow your mind. You don't even understand how powerful you are as an energetic being connected to the universe, just like me. We are infinitely powerful. So what are you going to do with it? The women that I work with refuse to accept these labels, and I show them how to let them go and become the women they were capable of being. If you want to find out what that's like, just use the email below this video and we'll talk. But whatever you decide to do, this is not a guilt trip. You are a wonderful, amazing person, and maybe you're just not ready. But maybe, just maybe, this message nudged you a bit today. Sending you love.